evening, everyone. And thank you for coming out this evening. I'd like to start off by thanking Pastor Woods for allowing us to come here this evening. And thank you for coming out this evening. One of the things that we would like to talk about is the rising cost of education. Like you said, the real cost of college. Just briefly, my name is Tracy Gooch. My wife is Betty Gooch. And we're education funding specialists. This is what we do. We try to help families prepare for the cost of college, because college is a little different from when I went to school, and it's changing rapidly, unlike it used to. We'll start off with some statistics here. It says rise of cost of college. These are the college tuition fees and tuition fees for UNCG, North Carolina A&T, Carolina State. Do you have any alumni or anyone currently attending these schools? Good. So y'all already familiar with these costs, all right? So it's a big difference. It is. And what I like to always point out, this is tuition fees. This is not books. This is not meal plan. It's not clothing. It's not transportation if you live not outside of the city you're going to. So you add another 4 years of books, meal plans, clothing, the other incidentals. That's another $10,000 on top of that. So that's the real cost right now that we're facing. A little background about me. I'm a graduate of A&T, one of the greatest universities in America. And what I like to tell is my story. My story is that I graduated from A&T in 1994 with an education degree. And I taught here in Gifford County. Now, in 1994, A&T cost roughly $1,600 a semester. So for a year, it was about $3,300. Okay? I graduated from T and started teaching here in Gifford County. Now, when I started teaching, my salary was about $29,000. Okay, so I spent roughly $10,000 for a 4-year degree, and I got a job for about $30,000. It's a pretty good trade-off. Now, let's look at the same. Let's jump ahead now. So, someone that is in a education degree or some type of social work or civil service degree or going through that field. Let's do the math now. So A&T, we said that for a 4-year degree, you're going to make about 55. You're going to pay about 55 plus another 10, so $65,000, right? Now, do you know what the average salary right now is in North Carolina? 28,000. 30. Okay, it's about 35. Okay, that's the average income paid to the average worker in North Carolina. Now, if I get that same teaching job now, you know what's going to pay me? Roughly about 32. Okay, I'm going to spend about $65,000 to get a $32,000 job. You see the difference now? So, the average cost of tuition and fees are increasing 8 to 10% every 2 years. So you have to have a financial plan to pay for your children's education. And one of the things, I call it a crisis, because the trade-off is not there anymore. And you have to think about, we have to have a conversation now with our children. I'm glad to see a lot of young people here. I'm glad to see a lot of parents here. And the conversation that we need to have, like when I went to T, my first 2 years there, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I kind of just went to college because that was the thing to do. People said, why don't you go to college, okay? I had either the military or the college. Go to college. I chose college. So my first 2 years, I kind of pulled it around and kind of found myself on my junior year. Okay? At this point in time, kids can't, you can't allow your child to do that because of cost. Because of the cost. You can't have them going to get anywhere from here to the show, anywhere from $60,000 to $80,000 for debt to get a $30,000 job. Does that make sense? Okay? So as parents and students, we have to start earlier now. So you have to go to college with a purpose. So, and I'm talking about even at the elementary and junior high level, start having this conversation. What are your children's strengths? What do they like doing? You know, so it's going to lead them in the right career field throughout their high school and then going to college. Because you got to be very careful that you understand what's going on. Because I was talking to my sister here prior to we getting started, is that one of the things that we're trying to educate our parents on is that before having a loan, student loan, or taking out a student loan for your child or having them do it, was, again, the end result was to benefit them. Now, think about this. So let's use the scenario we used earlier. That child goes to get a 4-year degree, and there's $60,000, $80,000 in debt. They get a $35,000 job. Where are they going to live? They're going to live at home with you. Not by their choice or by your choice, but because of the economics of it. Now let's say that they get a federal student loan. You know, you have two types of student loans. You have private loans and you have federal guaranteed loans. Now, private student loans, what makes them a little different from the federal loans is that you can bankrupt or file bankruptcy and get out of the private loans. Federal student loans, you can't bankrupt. So the only way you're going to pay them is either you pay the loan, you pay it off for $60,000 or $80,000 or up to $100,000, or you die. Some way you have it. And what we're seeing and working with families and working with individuals now is that if you graduate with $70,000, $80,000 worth of student loan debt, your student loan payment per month is between $800 to $1,200 per month. Okay, get this, for 40 years. So when you mentioned to me about, well, we're going to have them get some loans, no. Okay, and the thing you got to think about that is that that's for 40 years for a student loan. That's a house payment. That's a house payment. And it's amortized longer than a house payment. Those house payments are 30 years. We're talking about 40 years of doing this. So think about them having to pay that out of pocket. And not only that, think about the concept, you know, this college graduate meets and marries this college graduate. And they combine. You have two broke people just in a commitment with each other. Okay? So it's not only, it's a crisis that affects all of us. It affects our community. Because we still need what? We still need pastors. We still need doctors, lawyers, teachers, business owners. We still need all these people in our community. That's never going to stop. But can they afford now to go get these educations? Okay, so we have to be proactive. This is what this is all about. First of all, just giving you the information what's going on now, and look at what's going to happen down the road. So we're saying that the average student loan is between, the cost of student is between $60,000 and $80,000 for a student. Now look at what wages are doing. Wages only increase what? By 2 to 4% over a 10-year period. Okay? Well, let's look at what happened in the last 10 years. Well, the tuition rates have increased over what? 23% over the last 10 years. And there are some solutions to this problem. And these solutions, believe it or not, are sponsored by the government. These are plans that the government has put in place to help pay for the rising cost of education. The first one is the Coverdell ESA. Anyone ever heard of that? No? Okay. I'm going to tell you a little more about it. The next one is a 529 plan. You've seen the commercials and everything. Mostly all states have a 529 plan. And the last one is a Roth IRA. Anyone familiar with that? Okay. All right. So some solutions. Let's look at the Coverdell first. Now, with the Coverdell, the way it works is that anyone can contribute for a student. It could be their parent, their grandparent, even themselves as long as they have a job. And they can contribute up to $2,000 a year. And what makes it a great program is that the money that you put into the plan, all the growth of the money is what? Tax-free. Okay? So as the plan grows over time, getting started early, contributing to the plan grows tax-free. And that's a real benefit. Now, it covers education from preschool through college. So you have a child that you want to send them to a private elementary, middle school, or high school, you can start using Coverdale right away to help pay for that cost, as well as through college. Now, the Coverdale must be started to be used by 18 and used up by age 30. And what's good about it, you have more than one student or more than one child going to college. And you can also pass the benefits over to another child or to another relative that's within that age, 18 to 30. Okay? Yes. You can set it up for each child, or again, you can have one account, and then as the one child ages out, you can roll the benefits down to the younger child. Per year. Per account. Per beneficiary. Right. So per student. Good question. Right. As long as they're the 5 children, all the accounts are in their names. Yes. Now let's look at the 529 plan. This is a very popular plan. Again, this is one a plan that was originally started by the government to help pay for the rising cost of education. Any individual can contribute to the 529 plan. Again, the distributions are what? Tax-free. That's very important. That's very important. Because what you want to do is contribute to these accounts over time, have them grow, and then use those accounts to pay what? For the cost of education. Now, this one's a little different. See, the matching contribution is what? $300,000. And y'all going, wow, $300,000. Who's going to ever use $300,000? Duke for undergrad and grad. Something between $400,000 and $500,000 today. So can you imagine what Duke's going to, or any private schools are going to pay in the next 10 years? So it's realistic. These numbers are realistic. So the maximum is $10,000 contribution, and you can do up to $65,000 per child per year. And again, multiple accounts can be opened. So one child can have multiple accounts. Again, the grandparent, parent, and even the student can fund their own account. Any questions?
Question.
Yes.
Percentage, what interest, what percentage on those accounts?
Very good question. The question is what percentage on those accounts? Talking about the growth of the money?
Yeah.
It depends on the allocation of the account. A 529 plan has different allocation plans, meaning they're putting the money in different places to maximize the growth.
You have that choice and they have.
No, it's your account. You have that choice. So what happens? Someone will sit you down. They'll give you the different 529 plans or the different Coverdale plans, and you allocate the money to the fund that you choose. Yes.
When people put the money in these plans and they say that if the child, if something happens to that child or whatever, I know it's tax-free money, so do they lose that money? Like if they don't use it for school,
Okay.
something happens to that child, what happens to their money?
All right, good question. The question is, if you have a Coverdale or a 529, and the child either doesn't go to school, something happens to the child, they're unable to go to school, what happens to the money? You have 2 choices. You can roll it over to another relative, if someone else is going to school, or you take the money out and you minimize taxes and fees. Any other questions? Great questions. Keep them coming. So again, multiple accounts for the student. So aunts, uncles, cousins, grandmother, mom, dad, open the account. Now this kind of relates with the last question that I asked. And this is a little different. Traditionally, what a Roth IRA is meant to do is a retirement plan. But the Roth IRA, the way it's structured, and the government structured the IRA plan, it's structured in such a way that it can be used to help pay for education or as a down payment for a home. The way a Roth works is that all the contributions that are made into a Roth, up to the limit of the contributions can be taken out of a Roth without what? Paying taxes. Now, unlike it's like the reverse of the Coverdale and the 529 plan, meaning that if you take out more, if you take out beyond the cost basis of what you put in and take out the growth, if you're younger than 59 and a half years old, you're going to get penalized by taxes. But up to there, you can take it out of tuition for education. And also, as the earlier question was, with this, if the child, something happens to the child or the child doesn't go to college, you can just leave it in there because it's minimum purpose is for what? Retirement. So it's a little more flexible. That's why it's the third choice. It's a lot more flexible than the other two, as far as being able to control the money and being able to use the money for more than one thing. All right? Any questions? Now, yes. It's 6,000. It is 6,000. Well, the catch-up is 6,000. If you're 50 years older, it's 6,000. Because there's a catch-up policy. Once you get, anyone that turns 50, there's a catch-up policy for the loan.
Would a CD be an alternative choice as well?
A CD? That's an excellent question. I'm getting ready to answer that. So I want to come back to you. Okay?
So with the IRA, if I have a personal IRA, because I don't think that is my child education, will be penalized taxes on that if I'm not 50 years old?
No, as long as you never go over your cost basis. And the cost basis is what you contribute to the plan. So let's say, let's use numbers. So how old is your child? Let's give me a 21. Okay, the child's 21. So let's say that you had the plan for 6 years. Okay, all the money you contribute for the last 6 years, let's say it added up to be 15,000, but the account balance is 22. Okay, you can take that $15,000 out, and you're not going to be penalized. Okay, and once you go,
you don't have to be a certain age.
no, to take whatever you put into the Roth, you can take it out before you're 59 and a half. The growth of the account you cannot take out. Any other questions? All great questions. I'm going to answer the question earlier about CDs. Okay. The reason that the Roth, the 529, and Coverdale are great plans to help pay and save for the cost of education because of the potential growth of the contributions. Over time, those contributions are going to have a rate of return. You know, in investing and planning for college, planning for paying off college, the compound interest on your money is very important. And this is the answer to your question about CDs. What you want to do is maximize your return on your money. So as you start early investing, saving for the cost of college, your money is going to grow, have the potential to grow quicker. So I like to use the example of the Rule 72. Anyone familiar with the Rule 72? The best rule. Okay. The Rule 72 is also called the Baker's Rule. It's very important. We all should know this rule because raise your hand if you bank with a bank. Okay? Everybody banks with a bank, right? Now, it's called the Baker's Rule because this is what banks do. If you notice, any place you go, you're traveling around, right? You go to a city. Usually the largest building downtown in that city is a what? It's a bank. It's a lending institution. Why? You know how much those buildings cost? Multi-millions of buildings. How can they do that? They use this Rule 72. Remember, everybody in here raised their hand that they have some kind of checking account, savings account, right? Okay, let's use this example. You put $10,000 into that checking and savings account. Now, anyone knows the return on a checking and savings account right now? As far as interest?
Less than 1%.
Less than 1%. Okay. The way you do the Rule 72, you take your average rate of return and divide it by 72. And it gives you how long or how many years it'll take for your money to double. Because we all want our money to do what? To grow, correct? Okay, so you said, so you have a savings account,
I have any savings, checking,
right?
money market,
Money market, okay. Even CDs, you know what
and CD.
you know what the return on the CD is right now?
That's
That's the most. Okay. So a point, you said 0.54? Okay. So, right. So 1%, all the CDs and bonds are going to be in that roughly that 1% range. Okay. So let's take that 1%. So we'll take that 1% and do the rule of 72. So you take 1% divided by 72. How many years would it take your money to go? How long? Did I hear 72 years? 72 years is correct. That is what your bank or lending institution is doing to you. So if you have a savings account, a checking account, you're basically giving the bank a free loan. And with the loan you're giving to the bank, what they're going out to do, they're using the rule of 72. They're paying you 1%, but they're going out and taking your money and then into other institutions or other businesses or investing it themselves to have a rate of what? Return of, for example, at 3%, the money doubled every what? 24 years. And at 6%, the money doubled every what? 12 years. Now at 12%, the money doubles every 6 years. The lending institution, the bank's goal is to double their money every 6 to 8 years. So while they're paying you 1% over 72 years, your money is making their money every 6 to 8 years. That's why most of them can build these elaborate office buildings because they're using the rule of compound interest to make money every 6 to 8 years. So why is this important to know about your college planning? It's important to know about your college planning. One, to get started, and two, where is the money allocated? Traditionally people when they do investing, they use an emotional approach. The biggest thing, I don't want to lose money. You don't want to lose money when you can't invest. It is a risk. Okay? There's no guarantee in investing. But you have to have an approach that I want to maximize the return of my money. So having a moderate to aggressive approach to your investing, your college investing, you're going to benefit your child and benefit you down the road. Because as you contribute to these 529s, these Coverdales, and Walk-On Rates, you want your money to double what? Every 6 to 8 years. So you have a child that's in, they're 10, 12 years old, you got a couple of doubling periods in there, right? You got someone in elementary school, you got more doubling periods in there. So you have to use and maximize these programs, 529 and Coverdale and Walk, to make the money grow in a timely fashion to benefit for college plan. Sounds good? And just to close, people don't plan to fail, they just fail at planning. And the thing is, planning is essential. And this is my passion, this is my crusade. I talked to the North Carolina PTA, I talked to the Gifford County Parents Association, Parents Academy about this because we're working so hard, we concentrate so hard on the grade test, we concentrate so hard to get our kids prepared to go to college, to get them prepared to be successful, but we lost the vision of what it's going to cost them to be successful. And the thing is, as parents, one thing that I just beg to know the cost before you send them. Because usually the student and the parent doesn't know the real cost until they graduate and a month later, the real bills show up. Because the first 4 years, they just push a piece of paper that you signed and the money will be here in a couple of weeks. You go, okay, I want the money, okay, I want my child to go. And then sticker shock after they graduate. And there's no way to get rid of it. And, we have kids. We have one that's 20 years old. We want him to leave the house. We want him to leave the house. So, I know you want the best for them. So that's why I thank Pastor Lewis again for allowing me to come and speak to people. And if you have any questions or need more information, just feel free to come up front and just talk to us. We'll be glad to impart the information that we do have. there any more questions?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
My question is, I know we're talking about loans now, scholarships. What
Okay.
happened to our scholarships?
Okay, what's happening, okay, this is the thing. The federal government, and this is kind of off the record, all right? The federal government said that because they're not able to fund the scholarships and grants that they used to, they're kind of giving the universities, because the question we need to be asking, why are the universities doing this? Why is every 2 years they're raising the cost by 10%? Because the state federal funding is being cut. Okay? So they're shifting the responsibility, or they're shifting the grants and loans to you, the parent, and to you, the student.
Okay, my next question is, where are they finding the money to bring kids out of state, sort of, from different countries, and they funding them?
Doing what now?
They are funding children from different countries to go to our college.
What do you mean by funding them? Okay.
You're paying your
Now, let me, okay, most scholarships, I don't know if you know this or not, most people don't have the full ride. Most scholarships and grants only cover about 47% of the overall tuition. The other 53% is usually private loans.
We talked about why our colleges look like luxury hotels and spas, all those other things. Can you explain what you're
Yes.
talking about?
Yeah.
Where they're getting this money from?
Okay. Well, it's very simple. Would you rather stay at Grandover or Hampton Inn? Grandover. So they had to make it appealing. This is a business now. It's been about 15, 20 years. They went from being nonprofits and for the development of the community to they run these businesses. You've been to High Point University? No, I love my alma mater. A&T was a wonderful school. They have a great, but it's not the A&T that I went to. That is a resort. These kids are there. And if you go there now, y'all, you gotta understand you are in a whole different world. A whole different world. I mean, but the thing is, the reason that they look like that is because it's competition. They know that these parents, they want to attract the children first of all. If you attract the children, you'll get the money. The children are going to tell the parents, I want to go to this school. And most of what we're talking about, that the parents don't realize the cost after the fact.
One of the things that supports somebody's going to get along, how do we choose how do we parent in terms of what's the best how do parents get that to back how to choose company or a agency that can help parents
Okay. The way you want to, my best, in my opinion, and my advice to that, is look for other alternatives. Other alternatives, if you currently have a child that has not started for the university, look towards doing the first 2 years at community college. Okay, that cuts the cost. Somewhat a fraction of the cost. And like I said before, most kids when they go enter into college don't know what they want to do until they're 2 years. So it works out perfect. You kind of float around for 2 years, and basically, and not only float around for 2 years, but try to finance the community college out of pocket. So when they enter the 2 year or enter the 4 year institution as a junior, it cuts down that cost. As far as the loans, I guess just comparing. I'm not a very big advocate of the loans. Another thing you can look at too depends on, and that's a conversation that the parent and child have to have part-time. have a child go part-time and work and pay as he goes or she goes. Because you don't want that loan. That's the biggest thing. You know, that's our biggest crusade is to try to get that loan. So when they do graduate, they either have a very small loan to pay back or they're debt-free from the college loan. So they can start their life.
So I'm in a situation where I got that figure now and there's no way that I can get out of it and I'm pushing through, I graduated. So what, I guess, programs or I guess maybe through the Obama, I don't know, to get out of it because I'm in this with the loan and now they're coming back out to me and I need to find a way to, I want to keep my credit good and eventually purchase a house and other things, but I have this student loan that, you know, really pretty much taken out of my pockets now because they want their money back that I asked for it, you know, for freshman year and throughout the years of high school. And so also I was thinking about grad school and kind of like, do I want to invest again in this degree and then still have another going to invest like $30,000 more in debt and I'm still not making enough money to the degree I have to pay back. And so it's kind of like
I do.
how do I get out of it? How do I push more than I know it's probably safe to, you know, God, if you want to really pursue what you're going to school for, then you should do it. But then again, it's kind of that, I don't want to be in debt for the rest of my life either. So how do I balance that? Or how do I get out of getting in debt? So is there any type of program or anything that could break, not even, but just release you from the stress of getting
Let me ask you some questions. Okay. Are you just graduated or?
Well, yeah.
Okay. So what school did you go to? Okay. Smart one. So you graduated from A&T. All right. So are you currently looking for a career or are you currently in your career?
I am in a career that I don't want to be in,
Okay.
but it works for me.
Okay.
And I'm looking for grad school for, I guess, my passion, basically want to continue my master's in local performance.
Okay.
But yeah, that's probably going to give me a job or the experience in teaching, but I don't know if it's worth it.
Right. And that's the decision you're gonna have to make. Without knowing more about what's going on and the numbers themselves, what I would encourage you to do is to come up with a plan to target the first 4 years of being that on first before you start adding anything else on. And making sure if you're going to add anything else on, that the salary or the income you bring in is going to be beneficial to you. I understand, and trust me, one thing you said was your passion. It's good to have a passion, but if that passion doesn't pay the bills, you create a bill to achieve that passion, you got to weigh that cost. You have to weigh that cost.
Not miserable, but you know, I don't know. I mean, it's not being miserable, but you kind of going through the motions.
Well, I'm not saying not to pursue your passion, but do it, paying it off as you do it to achieve it, and not create this huge debt for yourself. Make sense?
Because my situation is so different. Before I moved down to North Carolina, I went to Delaware State
Okay.
for a year and a half. So my dad got a new army and he paid that off next. But he didn't want to get any more on the side of the Delaware State.
Right.
So for me, I'm here, we're going to do, I'm going to do, we're there, and now I'm in debt. I want to consider that I begged my mom to send me in my junior year of high school here to North Carolina so I could get the state to do because I knew it was going to cost money to go to college, but I wanted to do the simpler way.
Right.
But I feel like now at the age when I got 25, I was considered insane. Because I had to jump through every possible school there was just to show them that, okay, back in North Carolina, I had a house in North Carolina, I've been living here for the past 3 years. And I'm like, and now I've got this big debt and I want to go back to school because the degree that I had is asking for it. Because I have a sociology.
Right.
I want to go into social.
Again, it goes back to the weighing that cost.
Right.
You got to look at what it's going to cost, what it's already cost you. Because you said it's $73,000.
And my dad's not understanding why I have not done my
Right.
because I'm also
Right.
a sociology major and working in a pharmacy. I'm only getting paid for $79 an hour. I
Right.
have other costs like my own apartment, my car, insurance, feeding myself, clothing myself. And he's wondering why I ain't gonna make this.
Well, I think what's your
Asia.
age? I think age is the prime example of what we're talking about. She is the epitome of and no one's talking about it. Like she said, she would have known this, what, 12, 13 years ago?
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, for your situation, the thing is, you got to come up with a plan to pay off the one. You're talking at 73. You know, that's your first goal, is to handle that. Because you keep growing that, it's going to take you longer and longer to pay it off.
I really want to go back to get a higher degree. A lot of these jobs now are saying, well, you need a master's degree and get a doctorate to get the money that you need to pay back the loan. And I'm like, I've been in the working field for like so long. I've been out of school for 6 years. I graduated in 06. And it's like, I feel like I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place because I really want to go back to school. I want to get another degree in something where I can work. Because I do not, retail is not for me.
Right, right. Well, what you see yourself with enough. That's all.
So, also, what you just mentioned, sometimes you have to work for cash,
Yes.
and it may take a little bit longer. And then one option that some people agree with it, I agree with, so much you major it. And I have a neighbor who just retired as a drunk example, so that was a ticket, paid for his education.
Right.
Those are some things that you have to look at. I had children, but luckily I was blessed that, we worked with my wife, we worked together, we got through them, and came out of it. But I think that's a prevailing thing that we're doing. It's going to have to be a working university forward.
Can I ask you a question? How long did it take you to pay those? Oh, this is your husband. 2 years, 4 years, 5 years?
10.
Okay. But you had a plan to do it, and a focus to do it. Right.
He had I haven't.
Right.
So we focused on the kids.
Right.
He didn't have a whole lot. He did work, try to put himself.
That's all.
I know you spoke earlier about the federal budget, about how they have scholarships and national university. What about, that was the private school, they do give out scholarships, but they don't give out so much.
Right.
Scholarship opportunities.
Well, as far as scholarship opportunities, it really is basically doing your research for the scholarships and the grants. And that's basically a job that I encourage anyone that's a junior, even a sophomore in high school to start now. because you want to have that in place before you go to college. But in your situation that you're already in it, you're going to have to take, I mean, you're going to have to treat it like your part-time job to sit here and go through the process for the scholarships and the grants to see which one qualifies.
What can we do as a church community to, and I think this is a great setting, I think that's a lot you see these structures coming out of the church community where they actually issue scholarships, starter or plan things like that. I mean, that maybe the plan up on board, but these churches or coming back together where we're going to support our people and doing some type of humanity or encouragement in that area to say, okay, we've had this seminar are there any other examples that we provide in the church community to say that here's scholarships that we provide?
Well, first of all, the community, that's what we're doing is. Unfortunately, no, because it's one of those, this is kind of hit everybody like a ton of bricks. A little background. January 1st of this year, student loan debt surpassed credit card debt, the number one debt in America. So this is sort of, it's like that wave that hasn't peaked yet, crashed, so it's still building. So everybody, that's why our crusade is to get the information out. So the answer to your question is no. But it needs to start, we need to have a grassroots effort in getting this handled. It starts in the home, it starts in the church. This is about the community. This is definitely about the community.
I'm just going to add as far as, and I speak from a different viewpoint, but as far as working to go to school, keep in mind that a lot of jobs do offer a tuition payback program if you're working for them. So you need to keep that in mind as well too to help you get through. Also, there are a lot of online universities as well so that you can work during the daytime and go to school at night. And I can tell you, having a degree, a 4-year degree, that a lot of times it doesn't matter the institution that the degree came from, they're just looking to see if you do have a degree. The third thing I wanted to add is that when you're looking at degrees, if you're not already in college, even if you are in college, think very specific. Like people saying, talk, what are your strengths? Don't think broad like sociology, psychology, biology. Think something specific. And you might end up honing into more of a technical trade because you're going to earn more money with a technical trade straight out of school than you are with a 4-year broad degree in such as the field of biology or sociology or something like that.
That's excellent. That's an excellent statement. And kind of, I brushed over it, didn't go into it. You, as the parent and as the student, know what that job is potentially going to earn you. Know what it earns per year. Call the business or call the university or call the place where you want to work and ask and try to find out what's the average the salary for that job. Because that's what when I say weighing the cost, that's part of that weighing the cost in the back.
When they're looking at job potential, North Carolina Commerce has onet.org or .com. They can Google it. It gives them the task, the education requirement, the entry salary, as well as the medium salary and what they will make in the long term. So there are information websites out there for students so that they will have a clearer picture of what they're going to be making and what their salary base is.
That's one. You said it's
ONET.
ONET?
Yes, but you could go to North Carolina Commerce and Google ONET, and it will bring up that web page for you.
That's excellent. Everyone get that? Yes, ma'am.
I work in the university, and I work in the research department. We do offer what we call leadership and cycles. So it depends on your major. It's a good idea to research your major and to find out if your department offers a leadership and cycles because we pay their students to go to school. We pay their tuition.
Wow.
And plus we pay them. If they get an assistantship, they make them an employee of the university, and they have all the rights that we have as enforcement. So it's beneficial to research whatever major that you're going into to see if they do offer that, because it is offered. But you gotta know about it. And you have to keep up with 3.0 GPA, you know, which is essential to get. I mean, you have to have that, which will help you to make sure you keep your GPA, because that way you'll keep them, you know, you'll keep your funding. So there is funding there, but you have to research it, and you have to keep up with GPA.
You know, give us a suggestion how to do that research. You contact the department itself individually?
You contact the department itself and ask them, do you have assistantship? Do you offer assistantship?
Okay.
Or do you offer stipends? Because most grad students do assistantship. But, which is going to maximum in your PhD. But undergrad students, they get what is considered a stipend and or scholarship. They can get both or they can get one or the other. It just depends on how much money the department has to offer.
That's excellent.
Because every department go after different grants, and that's how they get their scholarship, because they get grants. And if you have grants in your department, you find out that this department have grants where we can get a stipend or we can get scholarship students, and you want to make sure it is best in your high school, because they look at students. What we do is we go after students in high school that have the highest GPA in the area that we assist.
Right.
So it's there, but you just gotta know what to ask for.
That's excellent. That's good information. So what you were saying, to research your field, look at that university, you want to do your course study and see if they have assistantship there.
Or
Stipend.
undergrad, stipend.
That's excellent.
Okay.
That's good information. Yes, ma'am.
I was,
Senior high school or college?
Senior high school.
Okay.
So what I'm understanding is, if you can get out of college as quick as you can, that's the route you can take. So if you can cut that time in half going to college or whatnot, you need to be very focused on what you're doing. You don't need to be there to, have fun or whatever. You need to be there, get your education, and get out as quick as you can, so that cost of college is less than if you were to stay for 4 years.
It is. It's what you want to look at is not only getting out early, what is the overall cost going to be? Okay. Weighing the cost. What are you going to end up on the university for your education, and what skills and what income do they provide for you? Now, if you owe them more than your skill and your income is going to be from that education, you're upside down. So, what do you get out of it? So, I mentioned before about going to a community college first. You do that just to get your bearings about what you want to do. What is the cost? It's a fraction of the cost to go to a community college compared to going to A&T, UNCG, Carolina. And then you're going to have a lower cost when you go there for 2 years. So when you go to all 3 years.
I would like go to a regular university that goes like summer courses during that. Would that help me out in any way, or do I need to?
Well, so what you're saying, you're going to the normal university 4 years and doing summer school.
Yeah, well, if I went to, I would do that in the summer. If I go every single summer, that cuts 2 years off. So I graduated. If I were to go to GCCC, as soon as I got out of school in May, go there from June to like August, and then go into the next university, that means I'll have courses already started at GCCC and done for that year. And then I was to go, after my freshman year, go in and get courses from GCCC during the summer. That's a whole 2 semesters at GCCC already done while I'm at.
You're still paying for 2 different schools. Right. Some of the courses and credits do not transfer. Right.
The goal when I go to a college, what he's saying is the first 2 years you're basically doing like prerequisites.
Right.
So you want to spend your first 2 years run after high school at a community college, because if you go to A&T, you're still not going to get into your major until about your junior year. So the goal is to do those prerequisites like algebra, English 10 or whatever course they call it. You want to get that done your first couple of years. So by that time, hopefully you'll have taken some courses. You realize I really don't like science, so I probably don't want to be a doctor anymore. Or I really like psychology, so maybe I don't want to go into journalism. So you do that in your first 2 years straight after high school. And then once you knock those out, then you make sure that whatever courses you're taking, you're transferable to AT&T or Illinois. I'm a warner here. So to make sure that those are transferable to A&T or the University of Illinois or something like that, wherever you go. So you probably gonna spend more time at home, for the next 2 years. You probably don't want to go to campus. You just want to commute and save money. That's the
key.
goal.
Yes, excellent.
After graduation, going into one of the armed forces, will that help in paying off college tuition?
If they're guaranteed, I guess it's your military contract that you sign, if it comes with the guarantee, they're going to.
Well, if you graduate before your college, you go into one of the armed forces as an officer. Will that help you, or will they help you pay off your student loan?
Talking about the military?
Yeah.
I think someone's saying yes. I'm not familiar with that. But I know that you have to have that guarantee before you go.
I would go Air Force. As a female, you should go Air Force.
So that someone said, the answer is yes, but you need to make sure what they're willing to pay and how much you're going to willing to pay before you person enlists.
To kind of offset what Catherine was talking about, I mean, even though I went to 2 different historically black colleges, A&T did not take all my credits from Delaware State.
Right.
I was a sophomore. I was considered a sophomore at Delaware State. When I got to A&T, I was a freshman. I was 20 years old in a freshman door. 20, and I'm around 78 years. You got to make sure they transfer. If they don't, and I was trying to do pre-med, and I had all my prerequisites for biology, everything. They took all my pre-med, all my biology stuff. And then when I got to A&T, I was like, okay, yeah, so I got that. Let me do nursing. My minor, I was like, okay, yeah, nursing was not for me. So I cut that out. Then I went to sociology. They gave me my minor. My major was sociology. My minor is biology.
That's
So
good.
so many.
And that's true. And then even doing the DTCC, you gotta make sure it's going to transfer to your Carolinas. You make sure it's going to transfer to your North Carolina. Make sure it's going to transfer.
Yeah, don't just listen to GTQC if everything is transferred. You need to check with the university to make sure that it's transferred. Because they'll tell you it's transferred, well, then when you get there, they be like, it's not transferred. So you have to check with both places before you do it.
Make sure it's documented too.
Yeah.
Black and white, all day.
Yes, ma'am.
Do it.
High schools offering college courses.
Hey.
And so I think it's a good idea for anyone that's going to high school now to take college courses while you're in high school, because now is where you can take college courses, and when you get to the university, you're already a junior. And because the high school will make sure that those courses transfer to that college. They will follow you. You have advisors and people at high school that will help you and, go on to the college or to the colleges that these courses will transfer to. So that kind of like helps out also, because when you finish those college courses in high school, you are sometimes you're a junior going into college as a junior.
That's true. That's good. Well, she was saying that is it all Gifford County schools, or is it certain programs? that your children can get involved in high school and take college, their freshman and some of their sophomore year courses before they graduate from high school. So when they go into college, they come in as a sophomore or junior, and that's one way of cutting down the cost too. Very good information. Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to piggyback off of Asia for Tabitha. I just transferred from UNC Charlotte to UNCC, and on my credit transfer, but you also have to make sure the particular program is going to accept those credits. Credit-wise, I'm a senior, but my program that I wanted, I'm like a sophomore or junior. So all my credits transferred, but under the particular program, they just count it as elective. So, you know, I'm like back in the you have to take that off.
That's good. That's good. Everyone get that? Make sure you you transfer from one school to another school. Make sure the school accepts and also the department accepts the different credit hours. Yes, ma'am.
There was a question that came forth from somebody. It says, what if you apply for a loan and got it to your school that you're going to, but you are not going there anymore?
Is it a federal student loan or a private student loan? Okay. If it's a private, no. Is it private or?
It was actually, she had applied for a bank for a loan.
Okay.
Realized what it was. So we didn't sign anything
Right.
like that. I think she was asking what she needed to do anything about that. There's nothing to sign and agree upon. There's no money. We didn't see any money.
Right. If you haven't signed the loan application and no monies have been dispersed.
That's what it's going to take. We have been greatly blessed by our her since 1 year plus a semester. And I don't know how the FAFSA works. I don't know what the limits are on the income, but we're one income family. And we've been able for both those years, the 3 semesters, to come out with no debt. She's not paid a dime to go, nor has she paid for the book, and she's got a refund taken every semester. And that's just truly been a blessing for us. So we can definitely vouch for the fact, and I don't know if everybody would qualify for that, but we do. I'm sure there are others who do as well. At least for a portion of that expense. That's truly been a blessing.
That's good.
AI.
So where do you want to go to school once you finish?
Excuse me. I had originally planned to go to Liberty University in Lynchburg, Virginia in the spring.
And that's private, correct?
Yes.
With private tuition, correct?
Yeah. Yes. Very private. And when I saw the outcome, and I talked to my dad, and he was like, you know what? You're going to have over $50,000. I was like, nope. We'll go to GTCC, we'll knock it out, and we'll get it done.
Excellent. Excellent. That decision is gonna benefit you the rest of your life. It is. Any other questions before we close?
I was one of those who didn't know what I wanted to do, and so I actually came out of high school and went to a trade school, and it only was a 6-month program, but I came out, and that school helped me to land a job, and I was very blessed. I was in school 6 months, started working, and was making 3 times what my sister was making to graduate from ECU, and then HBU, and she was still paying off student loans. So it's something to think about, it really is. And then, you know, I got married and was making more than my husband now at 43. It's not that it will always be that way, but there are times.
Yeah. Well, that's an excellent, the story you're telling us is excellent. Again, goes the way to cost. Look at that, you know, it's already to follow your passion and you're driven to do. But make sure that it can feed you. Okay? What you're saying is that, you know, going to trade school, you know, I just got my car fixed this past week. You know, they charge $95 an hour just to look at your car. Not to fix it, to look at it. Okay? My daughter knows what charge for that. You know? So get trade schools, auto mechanics, plumbers, all these things. They make wonderful salaries. And you don't have to go through a 4-year program. Usually it's a 6 months to a year program, And you get a license and maybe to be a journeyman or start a career in that program and make a good income without that overhead of college tuition. Okay? All good questions. I love your participation. I love the turnout. Y'all just amazing. You really are. I said thank you. And I hope that we start a conversation within your church or in your community, within your home, and spread information to your family and friends, because this is a growing crisis. And it's going to hit all of us in the next 10 years if we don't get a hold of it now. All right? That's funny. What I mean by a crisis is that we're going to have we already have a gap between haves and have-nots. That gap's going to keep growing because the haves will have these plans in place and the money's in place for their children to be educated. And the have-nots, the grants and scholarships we already talked about, they're drying up. They're a little harder to find. So again, we've done such a good, had such good strides over the last 20 years, closing the economic gap. And start doing it, seeing this happen again. So that's what I'm talking about, the crisis.
Let's get Tracy in here. This is very serious. One thing that I kept hearing over and over, what about now? What if I've done this? And what do I do now? You have to make some tough decisions, some really tough decisions. I want to show you something we're closing out, because this is what it comes down to. Everybody wants their ice cream and cake, and they want to eat it too. Some of you are talking about borrowing your way out of debt. It doesn't work. It does not work. Look at this, what's happening here. It just came up on the air. And let's see if it comes up here real quick. I want you to see something. Coming up, lawmakers in Washington, D.C. discuss status of the fiscal cliff negotiation. Notice right here. Fiscal talks hit major setback as GOP appeals to Biden. Our country is in debt. We have an issue here. And whether you think or try to decide what should be done, the fact is, we're here. A lot of this was started a long time ago, but with our borrowing, with houses, that fell back on us. The same thing is happening with college. The same thing. Over by my house, UNCG, they're building an underground tunnel under High Point Road or Lee Street, so the students can walk from the college houses that they built up that span 3 blocks over in the old Glenwood community. They're going to walk up under High Point Road or Lee Street, then they're going to walk up under the railroad track to get to Central Campus. It's a private business. That's what we got to understand. They're advertising something to us, but it's a private business. They're in it to make money. They've got to pay salaries. And as a church, we're making steps, as it was brought forth, to educate you. If you're where you are, then we need testimonies. Asia brought out a testimony. Sister Lucas brought out a testimony. We need these testimonies. We need people to speak up and say, hey, I'm the one who made a dumb decision. And we don't want to admit it. I made a dumb decision. Military is a wonderful option. I did 4 years in the Air Force. I got my college education paid for by GI Bill. Things have changed now for GI Bill, but still that's an option. That was money in my pocket that I could save up, that I could work towards then. Again, Brother Gooch brought out this, and this is our closing. I want to leave this in your mind. This is what he was bringing out over and over again. If you graduate with a $50,000 debt, and you grab a job that's making $30,000, it's not worth it.
Amen.
Or if you go to school for a $50,000 debt and you come out in 4 years and you don't even know what you're going to do, it's not worth it. Let's just face, we got to bite the bullet. We've got to bite the bullet. Our churches, yeah, we've got scholarships, but it's never going to fade. Oh, I shouldn't say never. But 50 grand, and then we got to choose. Look at all the youth we have in here. You're going to have to make a decision. God has given us opportunities and choices. You just got to make those. Maybe you got a rich granddaddy like you met. Everybody doesn't have that, okay? Everybody doesn't have that. So we have to make decisions for ourselves. I've told my kids, as long as you can go with the rules in the house, you can be here so you can make some sound decisions. I'm not going to push you out there because I'd rather you'll spend more time with me than you to graduate with $50,000 in debt. And then eventually you're going to be calling me, Daddy, what? I need some money. I don't want that. If you're out of my house, I want you out of my house. All right? If I'm going to have to pay for you anyway, I want you to make sound decisions here. So those who are there, start making the right decisions today. If you're $40,000 in debt, you don't have to get $50,000. Keep it at 40. That's less than 50. And $10,000 makes a big difference. Let's just sit down with our families, get the prestige out of our minds. Final thing, I think Andy brought this out. A lot of times it doesn't matter where you went to. I've got a friend. He did all his college online, and he's making over $100,000. He did literally online certificates, trades. He's making over $100,000. They don't care where you went. Did you graduate? Do you have this certificate, training? That's all they're looking at. Very important. Any final comments? Any questions for yes?
I have a quick comment. I have a master's degree, but what my dad told me to do, because I'm paying back my college loans now, as I went to school, what Ms. Leonard said, I had something called tuition readmission, where my department pays for my tuition. I continued to take out loans, but I took my refund check and put it into a savings account. My plan was to have a job by then, but I don't. I have a temporary job. My advisor from school hired me back, so I'm making decent money compared to what anybody else has, just as a temporary position at A&T. I'm making very good money. So I take my money that I make and I pay back on my college loan. Plus I stay at home, so I'm saving money. I'm doing what has to work. I move back home. Also, my college loans, I pay off loan by loan. You have groups, and I'm paying on the interest, but every monthly I take that multiple loan that's higher than all my other loans, and I put more money back on that. So I'm breaking down the cost and I'm saving the interest in my pocket. That's what my dad told me to do. It's helping me out.
Afterwards, the Gooch family are going to be here. They can answer your questions. They've got plans to help you and assist you. In the new year 2013, I'm going to try to do more financial seminars where we can talk about these things, because I'm finding out more and more. We just haven't been educated on that. And I praise the Lord, my family and I were debt-free, but we had to get educated on it. We had to realize, everybody that tells you something, what are they getting out of it? And I've got to think about my future and my family's future. So we want to help you and assist you that. So the churches are going to step up. Ebenezer is going to step up to help you get out of where you are. But it's not going to be by barring your way out. It just doesn't work. Amen? Amen. Come on to your feet. We're going to close out in prayer. Thank y'all for coming out. To the Gooch family, Brother Tracy, his wonderful wife. Let's give them another hand clap. Please, their financial advisors afterwards get their cards. They probably have to be able to talk to everybody at one time, but they will get back with you. And we'll have more interaction with them to assist you and help you out. But be encouraged. If you feel like you're under, this has been a seminar to help you get out of under. Let's pray. Father, I just thank you so much for all the parents and students, all those who have come back out during their Sunday afternoon, Lord, to get wisdom, to get knowledge, to get understanding. Lord, I pray for those who are under, the numbers are not coming out. They're struggling from day to day. They don't know how they're going to make it. Lord, I pray that today you pop the revelation into their mind to really bite the bullet and make some tough decisions. I pray for those who are going into college or want to go into college, that they'll count the cost, or they'll look at the numbers and decide, Lord, this is bigger than people thinking that I should go to college, thinking I should be this or that. Lord, we just need to hear your voice. Help them to hear your voice. Lord, I just praise you that this has been a grassroots movement, Lord,
I pray for even the fiscal cliff negotiations that are going on. That's going to affect the federal money. That's going to affect the scholarships in the schools, Lord. This whole thing that America is in. Lord, give your church, give us as Christians wisdom to walk in this, that we can glorify you. We love you, we magnify you. In Jesus' name, amen. Y'all have a wonderful day. The Gooch family are open for questions.